Hey, it's Aries. This is going to be a message for someone specific. This is a message that has been growing for some time now, and it's almost like I'm getting the idea that someone on their spiritual journey is just about to break through to a new reality, but this like perceptible reality that you're going to be breaking into is going to be almost like miraculous and like synchronistic. It's like breaking from the third density and using all of the work you've done in your fourth density, your shadow work, your mind, your manifest intent data bank, your ability to pursue and curate your intentions with the fourth density, and then that world that's opening up is that fifth dimensional vibration that's going to really catalyze your world. And it's like your life, your world, and it's not just about like your life, it's also going to like synchronistically link to your reality. And so if you've felt like you've been walking perhaps alone, or as this different person, or this person who like resonates at a certain frequency while maybe the rest of your reality doesn't resonate to the same like vibration to cause coexistence between like the person, the observer, and their reality. That's really about to change here. There's a lot coming through around how you go about pursuing what you're passionate about, going after what it is that you know in your heart that you want. Maybe without like the expectations of normal people, average people, the average human that you find in your reality that are, just maybe not a part of the same type of journey that you're a part of, that have like maybe different agendas within their third density reality for their life, that you may have found like seeds of inspiration in ways, but it's like you still know just deep down it's not the same. And so it's like the bittersweetness of kind of accepting that certain things or connections or things can be temporary, because it's like catalyzing a lesson and a deeper teaching for you to embrace like what is for you and what your future entails and what it is you want to like do in life. So we're just gonna get into it. We'll start with this deck. Okay. Whoa. Wow, okay. It's interesting. It's very beautiful. Okay, so here's a few things that are important for you to realize right now. Going back to what I was saying, the idea of like what you decide in your life is like gold, right? This gold card represents like what one person views as gold isn't the same thing that another person views as gold. And so it's like the different standards of gold, or what gold is defined as or means, or what holds gold, that you hold value in, is really different from maybe the world around you. And so it's like just having those different agendas that might like cause some chaos, some conflict or disruption with these spider webs, like the continuation of your like soul movement, your soul manifestation, the play out of your soul story here in this plane within this lifetime now. You're being asked to evaluate and just like really connect with the idea of like what you find as gold. I'm going to read actually the guidebook for this. because I think it's very beneficial to just like dive into the philosophy of this deck specifically. It's the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Kranz. It catalyzes so much internal work to really connect to the inner magician, manifester, alchemist, the wisdom keeper, the lesson learner, all of the things, the cycle master. Let me get that. Gold. Illumination, splendor, and culmination. I'll hold it up for you. The alchemist's gold. The alchemist's gold is no ordinary gold. It's not found in the rings or coins or necklaces. It is a substance that's buried deep within, sometimes referred to as the gold of the wise, philosophic gold, the ethereal stone, or the divine quintessence, among countless other names. For our purposes, we seek not the physical metal, but the mystical essence within each alchemist. How do you recognize it? How do we recognize it? It mimics qualities of the metal itself, soft and radiant, and its planetary counterpart, the sun, warm and bright. It's no wonder gold is associated with the heart. When this card arrives, there is something of incredible value at hand. It is marvelous and rare. Cherish it and get to know its properties and its source. The gold card carries a distinct shadow of if mistaken for a purely physical material, it can lead to greed and excess, causing the alchemists to lose their way. Reverence is key. Going deeper, read Robert Frost's poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay. And then to ponder, every path is a noble path. In some wisdom traditions, gold is seen as a nectar, a sap, a honey-like substance coming from trees, bees, and even the pineal gland. Open yourself to gold's infinite sources. Your gold may be entirely different from someone else's. It is important for the alchemists to respect their own unique journey towards a righteous and resplendent goal. So it's really just like, I think this season of your life, and maybe like for the last few months, you've been evaluating what that is defined as. What is gold defined as in your life, opposed to maybe majority of the people surrounding you. Like maybe like we are kind of just like a part of a collective that are the observers of the people who like chase materialism and like satisfaction and fulfillment through material things or substances or just like lifestyles, you know, whereas like as that observer and maybe someone who's not from such a modern materialized consumerism world prior to this, it's kind of like maybe when you were put into this experience, it like really confused you and caught you off guard. But a part of the like modern game is to like learn from this and become this. And so like the true alchemist will always kind of like go into leading into the narrative of reality that mimics this, so that way they can identify it in themselves as something that doesn't resonate, therefore catalyzing the transcension into a more intentional state for oneself. This causes a lot of open self-awareness, awakenings. You may be going through like a shifting time where it's like this next wave of awakening is happening for you because you are acknowledging that you deserve to be in a reality that suits your essence. That's the like biggest thing that's being catalyzed right now. With his peacock's tail, This is all about it's like let's say that this is like a beacon coming off of you, like spreading your essence to the world around you, or just like you maybe even in times where you feel you might be in this like state of chaos. There's something important for you to know that like when you are in that state, to know like the type of alchemy that you are projecting outward to the universe as you're in that state. This I think will help solidify and unveil, and it's almost like unmask depths of fear you have around maybe like trauma of other people's persecution for you, like illuminating your aura and your truth and your purity through all of the different like emotions that you deeply feel. And it's like this is what comes off of you when you're in this state of chaos. And the reason why is because your state of chaos is healing. You might not fully see it that way, but it's like when you've allowed yourself to embrace chaos, which I'm getting the sense that you're someone who honestly is really good at wielding chaos with a lot of like alchemy, magic. It's like all of these energies you have found acceptance and depth and value of all of these different parts of yourself, of your character, of your emotions, of your traumas, of your goals, of your dreams. All of the things are valuable and are very much in fact significant, unique tools that you're meant to drive out of you with your individuality. The peacock's tail is something that relates to transformation. It's also too, the peacock's tail has like a dual medicine cause. It's kind of like when in time, when it needs to like shake out its tail feathers, it has the ability to awe the observer of the one who's like observing the peacock. The peacock also does that medicinally to serve as like protection, becoming larger than itself when needed. And it's like the peacock tail has like all of those eyes, so it's like there's a peacock. It's almost like I'm getting the idea that there's like etherically a peacock standing with you that's like standing in front of you, facing away from you, and it like shakes out its tail and all of the eyes in its tail are now like exposed, and it's like pulsating its eyes, its tail eyes, in the direction towards maybe something that's like trying to cause you chaos, or like doesn't know or is able to like recognize how it's important to like give you space when you have the feeling of being in chaos. Like I wouldn't say codependency, but like just someone who would see you in that state and recognize the depth of truth behind it to where they can more so hold the right kind of space for you, where you weren't like, you're not getting that, and it's like maybe that's left you feeling like on this lone walk. And so it's like those eyes on that peacock tail are like, they're being shown to me as evil eyes. Someone who like has it's like power animal protection in the etheric realms that like manifests through for you, and it's the animal kingdom, and this is them. Like, I'm very much getting like the peacock doing that for you is a message that is meant to amplify your confidence in yourself and who you are, in your individuality, in your multifacetedness, and your color, your range of who you are, especially your emotional range. There's something about your emotions that's like meant to be big part of your power, and that's because you have the ability to access multiple versions of your range. In this card here, these two cards, we have smoke, which to me is almost like someone taking the color of the peacock's tail and applying like water to it and making it just kind of like bleed around, and then like veiling you in almost like a cloud of smoke. They try to, or necessarily like when you're in moments where your color starts to bleed around and bleed together, and like it's almost like metaphorically creating art with your emotions, with your color, with your personality, when those things maybe like start to blend together or like become abstract, or you know, you're in a state of where it's kind of like everything's in chaos, like you're in the void of chaos, to where like that chaos can be like worked through and shifted and deprogrammed, reprogrammed, reorganized, and then like recompartmentalized. It's like when you're in the process of doing that, maybe like other people see you in that, and maybe they get slightly like fearful or threatened by you being so intentional about your healing. But that's the thing, is maybe it's because like they kind of just get the point where like maybe they were a part of the weight that caused that chaos. And so it's like, maybe you don't want like apologetic people. You like, you know what it is to be an apologetic person. You don't want to, you know, make others feel apologetic for you, but it's like there's also a big part of your journey that's learning beyond the bias that says like, I have a right to stand up for myself when I'm not being valued or treated properly, and I'm allowed to accept that something isn't for me because my values go left, either disrespected or dishonored, or not even just like recognized. There's a certain thing around like you knowing that like you don't need someone to tend to you. I think you've really strengthened yourself in that range, especially like it's giving that you've been through a life where you've sort of like been forced into independence in ways, and then but in this state it's like you're recognizing where like you can still value those things. It's like you're deprogramming maybe like hyper independence to allow energies in that you can actually like grow with, rather than feeling like detrimented to almost like a lone wolf life. And this lead card, it's almost two, is that the Pisces? I'm not really good at the symbols, guys. But with this lead card, it's like the density that maybe even like trauma has caused you. It's like you trying to walk and just having like this massive like pack on your back, and it's just full of like rocks. But here's the thing, is like other people, and this isn't all other people, this is only like maybe a small percentage of the actual like collective of people who see you and hold genuine love for you. And it's even like ancestral energy coming through with that, is like where the survivor has to like, they have to learn that like when they've gone through so much trauma and just like deceit and maybe manipulation, and it leaves the person in a state of like almost like readiness to be fucked around with, because you're just like on that guard. And it's like, say that there's like this bubble that you reside in the very center of, and like when people try to like cast this veil of smoke on you and like maybe deceive you or like sway you off course from like what you're picking up on, it's like that kind of forces you to like stand up for yourself, but it takes you out of the center of your bubble and puts you like on the edge of this bubble, like waiting for something to like cause infliction. And I can very much relate to that, and it's because of the weight that's being carried. It's like taking on maybe the weight from like other people's smoke that they try to like cast in, or maybe like when you're doing, okay, now I'm seeing it, like when you're doing shadow work and in a space of like using your mind and your heart and emotions very intentionally, and then like maybe there's energy that try to come in and like relate to you on like a lower plane of where maybe you have like resided before, and that puts you in a state of like deciding you want, not even that you want, it's like just a subconscious like muscle memory thing that happens of like you're already doing this work, and so when someone else feels like they're in friction, you have the energy to like say, okay, like let me either be there for you, hold space for you, talk to you, you know, allow you to express what it is you need to express about your feelings and your trauma, and I'll be there for you. You're like a ride or die energy. And that like maybe that's been like manipulated with the smoke card and the lead. I see that as something that's like maybe been taken advantage of, but that's because like maybe this world doesn't know how to manage or work with like energies who have the capability of bringing something so divine and like merciful and like a blessing upon their plate, and they want to keep it. It's like it's your gold, but like it's like wanting to keep it for themselves, right? And so maybe like the deception, like this smoke card and this lead card, the like smoke, the deception and weight that come with the process, and this like chaos, even with this peacock's tail and the peacock standing in front of you like offering medicinal protection. It's like, it's almost like the spiritual lesson and attempt to it's like your guides, the universe, are placing you in a lesson where you can simply just let yourself observe and accept what it is you're observing through this phase. Because if you have acceptance for what you observe in the truth of what it is without our empathic bias kind of giving in to like these smoke or lead filled energies, like you'll be able to see the lesson of like, oh, this person values me, but they don't value me in maybe the way that I had anticipated them to. They value me because they recognize my divine light, my divine essence. And that maybe not be like exactly what you wanted from the situation, but it's like Spirit saying it's a chance for you to see yourself through other people's eyes. Despite even if these like, if there's some of these eyes that like see you very divinely, but then like have false intentions against you, it's like holding on to the positive way that people admire you and see you as like this gold. Venus here, this is a card that represents the divine feminine. It's also a card that represents like love, divine love. Chrysocolla is a stone for the heart chakra, and the energy I'm getting behind this is like the depth of like just pure love that you exude, maybe in like any given situation, and that's like leading you along this journey of like really learning. And it's like the journey right now and has been for you. And that's the thing, is it's about to all change. This isn't going to be like a prolonged process. It's like you're finally moving past like the temporariness of this chapter. But as like you move along through this like phase, you are and have moved through this phase, it's like you're clearing out the timeline. Like your experience has unfolded and is unfolding the way it was to get you to realize what it is you do not want. And some of these experiences, I get it, were like really deep and maybe like poorly impactful on your life. But there's something about like, it's almost like there's like this older woman coming through who is like in their life they didn't see life the same as they do on the other side. And so it's like they want you to maybe realize that like the little blips of just like synchronistic, chaotic, like random fever dream experiences you've had, and like the deceit that you've seen and faced and all of these things, like this person wants you to realize that maybe this is stuff that this person kept getting caught up in their life, and they weren't able to break the pattern. And so it's almost like it's manifesting into your life because they realize that you're the one who can break the pattern. And it's like they stand with your spiritual court saying like, this isn't the easiest process. This is a hard process. This is a painful process, but it's necessary, because when it's over, you're going to be able to breathe in the knowing and in the physical, like real reality, where you're like, holy shit, it all happened for me to be exactly where I am, to want exactly what it is I want for myself, to know exactly what it is that I know how to avoid now, because I can just prematurely just sense and hold the knowing that something's not going to lead me where it's supposed to. And like to not hold the depth of deceit personally, but also use it to see people's true colors and know what to stay away from. And it's like there's so much of like a huge message of like abundance. This energy on the other side wants you to think abundantly. They want you to live abundantly, and maybe that's something that they karmically blocked you from when they were around, was like their human selves, like their soul that was here experiencing the human experience, was only vibrationally like evolved to a certain state of consciousness within their reality. And that's just because of the density of experience that they had lived. But they weren't able to fully like access that gold in their lives. And this could have manifested subconsciously in them, like casting after you for like knowing that you are always one who aspired for and will continue to inspire more, and chasing that abundance and going after that gold, and having the goals, and let alone the integrity to complete those goals. And it's almost like there's a part of their passing that they want you to realize was like they found acceptance in their soul and like cleared a lot of karma in their soul when like in the time of their passing, when they finally allowed themselves to like release their hands around the grip of your reality and the outcome of it, like letting you be set free. And there's a lot of sympathy and like just love and support coming in from this energy, but they also like want to hold you in a space of gratitude for you accepting the endurance that the reality with them may have put you through. It's like they know you're a tough tiger or something, and it's like, as interesting as it is, they want you to embrace their passing as like them showing you off onto your new journey. How do I say that? It's like their passing was like almost like them taking you to your ship for you to be, you know, almost like it's like them way showing you to this ship, and then them like standing on the dock or the shore, and you're like on the ship ready, and you're looking at them with just like love and pure gratitude, and they're waving and they're saying like thank you, and this person's at peace now. The blood and spring here, I see this as like this, they know it's in your blood. They know like your emergence is in your blood. And maybe their like physical, like human self, had a certain like way of ego towards you for this, because they always saw it. And it's like the other side, there's not really regretful energy in them, but it's like the realization of knowing that like they may have done like a pretty deep detrimental like amount of trauma on you. And they want you to take like the history and story of what you learned with them to like rewrite the narrative of, and like choose healing the timeline to bring the healed timeline in for you, rather than like maybe letting like the cycles that you went through with this person on the other side now, like not repeating those cycles with anyone else. Like using the cycles you had with this person as like discerning key points to like, you know, if there's certain types of treatment that like someone's giving you, and all of a sudden it's like the pop in remembrance of like, maybe this is something that you experienced with this person who's now moved on, like who's no longer here. That's like, it's your memory, but it's also them showing you like, this is reminding you of this because your intuition is kicking in, and I'm showing you this because although I may have put you through this, I don't want this for you. This is a lot of energy. I'm gonna pause. There's something about this energy that like, as I'm sitting here crying, like I just had to pause and cry, because this is a very beautiful energy, but there's just like so much depth and history here. And it was like I was crying, and then like it was like hearing them say like, I love seeing the sparkle in your eyes when you cry. And there is a message around just sort of like, if there's anything their soul would regret, was intentionally making you cry and hurting you just to see you cry, to see like your light really illuminate towards them in such a way. It was like they almost romanticized the idea of you crying because of what they got out of it, and the type of like energy, maybe like nurturance that they got out of that. And that was very toxic, so it was toxic of them. And it's like their soul didn't fully know why they were doing that. They weren't consciously aware of what they were doing. They were like kind of like acting on autopilot, and it's like the cause and reaction of that was unfortunately to like help you see the stem of maybe how the rest of the world, like not the rest of the world, but like other parts of your world have like casted manipulation on you just to get a sense of like emotional reaction out of you, or an emotional state out of you, and this person used that against you. And so like, because that wasn't embraced for the truth of what it is, because that's what we as empaths do, we take on the way and pretend like it doesn't inflict us or affect us the way it fully does, because we might have love for the person who's like casting that upon us. And so it's like they want you to like see that type of nature as something to get away from when it happens. Like if people do treat you as so, like they want you to see your history with that person and like the deceit in that, so that way you can use it as a tool of discernment in a moment to like get out when you need. It's like when people come in to try to treat you that way, it's like this person who's now your guide is helping you like learn your deeper value through deciding like, no, I'm not going to walk with the same I'm not going to walk into this situation with the same type of maybe like bias acceptance that I had prior, because I know deeper now that it's not okay to be treated that way. That's very harmful, right? Three of Swords. And you deserve so much more than that. And maybe too, like this person like just had to be what they were to you in your life, because like this lesson of the aftermath, for you to like see what mistreatment looks like, so that way you can avoid it and at all costs remove it from your reality, because you are meant to aspire like such higher ground. And this person didn't. This person did not. And that's all they want for you. Wow. My goodness. Let's get into tarot. Hierophant. They've learned a lot from you, or this dual message. They've learned a lot from you. They've looked up to you, and maybe that's also too why their ego like casted out the way that they did, is you were always someone that they like learned from, where maybe like the roles were supposed to be reversed, but it just didn't traditionally work out that way. Like you were like, it's such a mentor to them. The Death card, it's like maybe their soul didn't fully really learn or realize till after. And I'm seeing this as like they didn't fully maybe realize like why you had the boundaries you had and why you isolated yourself. Maybe the reasons why you isolated yourself had a lot to do with the treatment that this person caused you, and like the weight of it that kind of like maybe immobilized you from having confidence in knowing that like the world will give you positive love and treatment. But it's like they know now why like you needed boundaries, why you are who you are, why you care so deeply about like true reciprocal treatment, why like maybe you would even like isolate yourself for the sake of like sparing your own sanity so that way you can be in a space of healing. It's like that isolation has like over the years gradually shifted more into a space of solitude where you intentionally know that like your alone time, your safe space, your lone wolfness is like your space of recalibrating and healing what you're going through and self-discovery, self-awareness. What do you want them to know about what they're currently going through? One thing that might be hard for you to really like adhere to is like they had to go for your Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Like they had to go for you to become like the true, safe, radical feminine energy of like the material world master. Like you mastering your material world and embracing like your nurturing feminine side of that. They had to go for this light to really like awaken in you. And poppies also represent like death and endings, and the star represents new beginnings, so it's like the silver lining. There also may be something to do with like the Wizard of Oz. Look, poppies right there too. Maybe they come to you in birds. I'm seeing like red birds here. Maybe cardinals. Take cardinals, like if you see cardinals or like see photos of cardinals or like just whatever, take it as a sign of them like they're like telling you thank you and like sending you uplifting energy and encouragement to like transcend something, to move through something, to keep going and having tenacity through something. That might feel, yeah, like you're being like attacked, or like what is it called? A word came through but it was like so like in my head. Not propagated, like you're being watched out for in like a discerning way. That's what they want you to know, is like in moments when you feel like you're being watched out for, to be deceived, like spectated. I don't know if that's the right word or not for that. But anyway, like when you are in a space where you're consciously realizing that someone's like, you know, moving through something with a mask on towards you, and you see the signs, like know and trust that that's like this person on the other side, bringing forth to you the message of knowing your tenacity to get through it, because that's going to help you with your resilience and not taking on like the lead of the situation all at once. So that way you can really just like, in that case, like, instead of maybe falling to the chaos that other people are like attempting you to get in, allowing yourself to like hold ground, sure-footedness, and then like spread your peacock tail in front of them with all of those eyes, and say all of those eyes represent all of the eyes of your divine counsel, and you're standing up saying, no, I'm here, I'm going to choose what's best for me in this situation, and I'm not going to cave to falling short in what I receive because of another person's expectation over me. I'm going to let it live in my skin of perception, and I honor the fact that it's my duty to utilize my guides in those moments. The entirety of the life I am supposed to live is so much more important than this one temporary moment where someone's trying to have an out for me. Okay? And having that type of self-realization, especially about your guides and especially about the long-term larger picture, is going to help them like come into the physical for you. And it's almost like them collaborating into your physical realm to help you like move things to the next steps. And I think that there's been moments where you have allowed yourself to find that surrenderance, and you've seen the synchronicities, and then the way like spirit comes into your physical reality to send you signs and help you, like assist you, collaborating the manifestation of your reality to either a safer space or a more uplifted space or a more protected space. They will come into your reality and way show for you, and also help lay the foundations to get you from point A to point B safely. But the thing is utilizing them. They need you to utilize them for them to be able to do this work. And so just knowing that you have the right to call upon them and say, hey, I need you right now. They're, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. However, they're going to be there. But they need you to say, hey, I need protection. I need help. Help me, please. And that's the thing, is maybe like your trauma, maybe even from this person passing, like causes you to feel this 9 of Swords, like alone. Maybe that there's this like dark luring energy that like is inside of you that wants to like suffocate you, and that's like the entity of fear and trauma that belittles us when we're in a state of this like turbulence of the mind, or like the franticness or the uncertainty of what something may truly be or look like. And then like that type of entity nature like kind of succumbs us. That's when there's something big about some of those things being triggered, and it's almost like that entity being triggered because they're also a guide of yours. And so they want you to almost like, instead of choosing that this guide is out to like immobilize you and get you, you can actually sort of like become a friend with it, and they'll become a collaborator for you. And so that entity of like fear and anger and frustration and being deceived will become like your armor in a way. They'll become like this mentor or master or teacher that will like stand in front of you and protect you, rather than cast this energy onto you. Because really they're coming through and it feels like a cast because it's it feels like it's being casted into you, because it's like your channel is how do I say this? I hope all of this makes sense. Your channel is basically like speaking to you what you may be telepathically being triggered and picking up from someone else. So it's like that voice that like looms in to the situation is maybe even too, you just intuitively picking up on like maybe the things other people are speaking in their head over themselves, over you, over anything, or even just like their type of mentality. Like there's a lot to do with learning how to not take their mentality personally, or what they cast upon you personally, because it really just has a lot more to show of like how they feel about themselves and their own like place in the world. I think therefore I am, right? And you are just super receptive, like your antenna is super sensitive to where you can pick up on those things. But when your engine starts speaking to you what it's picking up on, it's going to speak through your voice. So it very much can seem like sometimes your brain is the one out to get you, when it really may just be like what you are channeling. Here's the thing, is you're someone who is very generous and tending to people when you know that they, you know, may be dealing with the depth of something, and it's like you can unmask the reasons why they acted out. But here's the thing, is like that it's like, what's the saying? Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. And so it's like you're finding your balance between knowing the difference of both and like utilizing your ability to like draw boundaries where necessary. I hope that makes sense. It's literally like your entire life has been like an alchemical teacher, like teaching you the realms of the alchemist. You're truly someone who's meant to lean into ascended mastery and being the ascended master here in this plane for the earth. And it's like you have gone through the different chambers of the underground tunnels into initiation and into initiation and into the next level of initiation of the journey. And your life has synchronistically truly played out the journey of the alchemist, especially like as a lot of your lessons have been like very traumatic experiences for you to still be here with the same depth of heart that you have, the same depth of open heart that you have, the type of intention you hold, the type of magic that you want to wield for the world around you, like everything. It's literally like all come to this point of realizing like you have gone through so much and still very much highly choose honor, dignity, respect, morale, principle, and love above all things. It's like you don't have a deceiving bone in your body, but you've been met with so much deception, and that's because like as a light bringer, as a light warrior, you have to know how strong you are against this energy. And maybe that's for like such a more bigger thing, like something that's like beyond larger than you. They want to tell you that if you find yourself climbing a tower, that the higher and higher you climb a tower of, and you start to find all of the same, it's like negative nostalgic things, they want you to cut the tower down and walk, okay? Jump off of the blade, jump off of that trend, jump off of the, jump out of the timeline that doesn't bring you what you want. You're this frog, and the frog's medicine is transformation. You're meant to transform. And so if anything, like, use this opportunity to be grateful for all of the self-realizations you've had around your self-transformation, because there is a lot that maybe a current situation is teaching you about the depth of how much you've transformed, and maybe the difference between yourself and someone else, like showing you the contrasted difference of what it looks like to really do the work. Ace of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. It's like you feeding yourself, you using the experience to feed into your cup, like putting, it's like you have this cup and you're being shown these things of what you don't want, or the things that trigger you or scare you or, you know, make you discern. And it's like when you have the experience of that, when you have this cup, they want you to like write down. You can very much really do this, okay? This will help you with spell magic. Like write down on a little scroll strip of paper what it is you don't want. No, actually no. Write down on that scroll of paper, as you're thinking about what it is you don't want, I want you to write down on the piece of paper the opposite of what it is you don't want. So having the realization of what you don't want often will lead you to allowing you to know what it is you do want. And so it's like when you have that alchemized transmutive flip of realization, write down on the scroll of paper what it is you do want, and either like roll it up and put it into this chalice, or you can roll it up and put it in like a little pouch somewhere, or a box or something, like in a safekeeping space. This will allow you to start establishing a spiritual manifestive altar for yourself. I would put a piece of citrine and like citrine and selenite in whatever thing it is that you put these things in. But I highly recommend doing that as like an alchemical spell work practice for yourself to really bring in the depth of your destiny. Because I was going to say the depth of your desire, and I was like, no, the depth of your destiny. All of the things that you have worked on in this material world, all of the different like levels of mastery that you've learned through the lessons and experience of life. It's like this is like the different milestones of your life that you have like learned and received a token of good effort for, despite what it may feel like. You may feel like isolated in a way, but like isolated from your spirituality, isolated from your guides. I last night had the wild hair to ask ChatGPT what CPTSD looks like, or how it feels in psychics. And I highly recommend asking ChatGPT what it feels like to have CPTSD for a psychic, because it might be something that'll like grant you a lot of answers towards this sort of like disconnection you feel towards your spirituality or your guides, or even like just the intuitive knowing of honoring a true message when you receive it. Because of the trauma and infliction that's been put upon your life, it's like knowing some of those things is going to allow you kind of like it's like code correcting your brain. Like learning about how certain types of mental health things can affect a psychic. Those types of things are going to catalyze and help you compartmentalize your especially brain, and when it goes to the brain like that, it's going to be able to go down the body and truly anchor in and root to your physical reality, to where you can have more trust and knowing and belief in oneself. Okay. We're going to wrap this up from here. I think that maybe you have some like lingering questions, but maybe that these like 3 cards will help you answer them. 2 of Wands, Judgment, and the 6 of Wands. with this Two of Wands here, I see this as a very authoritative, decisive decision or power. I also see this as maybe you're supposed to be amongst and with other alchemists. Maybe if this is like love related, you're meant to be with an alchemist here. Someone who knows the process of alchemy. Someone who might actually more deeper resonate and relate to your story in the same aspect of like them also being in the side that's like post aftermath and in the space of like healing, right? It's like this, you are in a space that's beyond the trauma infliction. You're in a space, even if you might not feel it, you're in a space of like healing what has been inflicted and moving past it. Like you're in the beyond now and choosing like this other energy. If it comes to love, it's like both of you being in a space of being in the beyond rather than a lesson that makes you feel like it's teaching you even more about your trauma. Sometimes we get so stuck in wanting to heal our trauma that we just like sit in it and we like find all the things, right? And it's like when you're trying to clean your room and you get so distracted, it's kind of giving that energy. When you're ready for that type of true love, and you'll know, this person is an alchemist. And they won't try to like succumb you to a certain like type of skin of perception of your past. They're not going to hold your past against you. They're not going to try to like pretend or act like you haven't outgrown your past. They're going to see you for this illumination of who you are. They're also going to catalyze your awakening and your ability to ascend higher. Look again, there's this red bird. And so it's like they're saying like, hey, shoot for the stars, like climb, climb, climb. When you're in a situation where someone's trying to place you in this type of old energy, they're screaming at you like, climb, sister, climb, brother, sister, whatever. They want you to rise out of the situation and really embrace like the golden opportunity of accepting yourself so radically for who you truly are, despite what other people might try to like play. But the thing is they might use your past against you because they might see that as like the blind spot or like the soft spot where they can inflict, right? If this part's about love, this is saying that you deserve to be with someone who will see you in such high regard, who will celebrate you feeling victorious for what you have conquered in your life, who will like embrace your continual evolution that you're going to continue to have in your life of like higher achievements and higher achievements and higher achievements. You as a psychic deserve and need that protection if you want to be in a romantic relationship with someone. Like you need, it is detrimental for you and it's meant for you to be with someone who will like help you feel victorious and allow you to feel victorious in yourself and express like your gratefulness and excitedness of like what you're overcoming, and not like make you feel embarrassed for being confident in something. You're aspiring for more. You're seeking more. I think you're realizing you're seeking more and you're letting yourself accept that. Yeah. The Empress. You could be a true queen. Don't let these court jesters fumble. I love you. I hope this was helpful, and know your tenacity, because energetically speaking, if I have ever seen tenacity, it is what I see in the energy of the person this reading's for. Love you, bye.